Okay. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great, man. My name is Sinalo Java, and I started a project, okay, called Leveling Up because I'm gonna be upgrading my life sciences and my mathematics, and hopefully, bro, hopefully, I do a good job and I get to upgrade. So follow me on the upgrading journey. The second thing I do want to say, also, second thing I do want to say is that I finished a lot of chapters, and so I'm just gonna quickly do a past paper, right, to see what I remember. So guys, come on, you have to be just understanding it because I'm not saying I mastered this, and I said I'm not a tutor at first. So let's do a past paper and see how much we've learned because I've finished 5 chapters: responding human response to the environment. Wait, yes, then human reproduction, vertebrate reproduction, then human endocrine system and homeostasis. That's a lot of paper one. So let's go. I'm doing life sciences, paper one, November 2024. So I'm just gonna read it out and I'm gonna answer the question. Okay. So question one I'm gonna try to be as fast as I possibly can because when my PC shuts down, that's gonna be it, and that's gonna happen soon. Okay. The first question says the hormone responsible for the regulation of salt content in the human body is which hormone is responsible for regulating salt? Easy. Aldosterone is the aldosterone. Definitely. So our answer is B. So let me choose that. So okay, I don't need to read everything that is there, right? Aldosterone is the hormone responsible for regulating salt. Easy, come, let's go. Feeling empowered, let's go. So which one of the following is a stage in human embryonic development? Oh, it's flat. Which one of the following is a stage in human embryonic development? Okay. 1. Chorion. 2. Embryon. C. Morula. D. Chorion. Easy. Morula is a human stage in human embryonic development. So when from the fusion of sperm and ovum, then there's that development part, right? That development part, that's what they're asking about. There's a stage whereby the fusion of the what did it say it? The sperm and the ovum. After that, there's the development until that embryo is implanted in the endometrium of the in the endometrium, right? There's the morula, where there's a lot of ball of cells, and then there's 4 ball of cells. That's the morula. Then there's blastocyte, where there's like a lot of ball of cells. Right? Yes. The blastocyte is when there's a lot of ball of cells. The morula stage is when there's hollow ball of cells. That's it. So that's the morula. The answer is the morula. 1.1.3. It says when the carbon dioxide level in the blood decreases above or increases above normal, what happens? Yes. When the carbon dioxide level in the blood increases above normal, what happens? Receptor cells in the carotid artery in the neck are stimulated. Remember, guys, this is what homeostasis is. Homeostasis. Okay. So that is the answer. Receptor cells in the carotid artery, in the carotid artery in the neck are stimulated. They send an impulse to the medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata sends impulse to the breathing muscles, which are called intercostal muscles, and the diaphragm and heart, and then everything. So 1.1.4. Which one of the following changes occurs under the influence of adrenaline? Okay, whoa. Okay, that's easy. That's easy. It's my PC just shut down, bro. That's easy. But what happens when adrenaline is so during a flight or fight situation? What happens? So what happens is that there's a conversion of glycogen and glucose because your body needs energy to run. So I forgot The options right here. So what would happen is that a lot of energy are sent to the skeletal muscles. A lot of energy is sent to the skeletal muscles so that you can run fast, you see? So you can energy. I think that's the point. Unfortunately, I don't have like past papers, which is just sad, bro. It's sad. Anyway, I think was that enough, guys? Do you guys know enough? Because I don't have anything here, bro. You see, when you don't plan properly, these things happen. So what now? Let's iterate. If things don't work out, you don't just give up. You try to do something. Okay. Let's go to. This is probably the worst and the most difficult unit. Responding, how humans respond to the environment. So in this, responding of humans to the environment, how humans respond to the environment. Right? Yeah. So the first thing we talk about the human nervous system. I think that's when you think about humans responding to the environment, you have to think about how does the body use nerves and neurons to respond to the environment. That's what you think of. So in this chapter, there's a few things that you have to understand, right? Like, I don't know if you can see it from here, but these are all the topics that you have to understand. Right? I'm using a textbook, which I said is a very ugly textbook, but what can I say? So, there's the textbook. Anyway, yeah. So these are a few topics that we have to understand in this chapter. So let's see if we can we do another one. So the bigger box, respond to environment. So the first thing is you have to know what are nerves. What is the structure of nerve? What is the sensory nerve? What are the structure of nerve? What is the sensory neuron? And what is the motor neuron? Okay. So what you have, so with this one, remember I'm not a tutor, but I think I know some of the stuff. So what is the structure of a nerve? Okay. So a nerve, wait a minute. Alright, structure of a nerve. Okay, now remember, so this is how it works. So to understand this, you have to understand like the smallest unit of a nerve, right? That's how you have to go about this. So look here. You have something called the optic nerve in your eye, right? That sends all the visual images, all the visual information you've took when you are looking at something, right? We're gonna talk later about how the eye operates, right? You see something, it falls into the retina. On the retina, there's receptors that convert that into impulse. That impulse travels via the optical nerve, the optic nerve to the brain, mainly the cerebrum. Anyway, the optic nerve, right? The nerve that's the biggest, right? The biggest of the categories. You get a nerve, right? And then you get neurons, right? You get neurons. So nerves are made up of neurons. Okay, that's important. So now there's two types of neuron. Well, there's three types of neurons. One, there's a sensory neuron, which is responsible for getting information from the stimuli, from receptor cells, to the brain, okay, or to the central nervous system, right? Second, there's motor neuron, right? Okay, then secondly, there's interneuron. There's something called the interneuron, right? Yes, I think so. I'm not saying it's not here. It's called the interneuron. Interneuron that connects sensory neurons, and the third one, which is motor neurons, that are responsible for sending impulse from the central nervous system to the effector some nerves gonna react. So first, sensory neuron takes information from the stimuli, from the receptor. Like what happened is that when you were pricked by something, that was converted into nerve impulses. The central neuron took that, right, and it sent it to the spinal cord or maybe to the brain, and then it was connected by the interneuron. It was okay to the brain. And then it was connected in the spinal cord. There was a connection between central neuron and the motor neuron. And then the motor neuron sends impulse back to you, right, and tells you to move away. Can you move away? Quick, okay. That is the second part. First, the nerve, then the neuron. Then the last small something called nerve fibers, which I'm using the same name. I'm gonna check this out because I'm not sure if I have it right. So let's check it out. So nerves, neurons, and then fibers, nerve fibers. Nerve fibers are just neurons. So maybe it's just nerves and neurons. That's all. There's nothing less than neuron. The neuron is the smallest unit of a nerve. Nerve fibers, the tiny part is one neuron. Yeah. So there isn't three, there's two actually. There's the nerve fibers. A nerve fiber is a neuron. So there's a bunch of nerve fibers. Each one of those are central neurons, motor neurons, and interconnected neurons. So I usually just central and motor neurons. So let's go. Let's check it out. Let's check it. Okay. They say there's three types of neurons: sensory neurons, like we said, motor neurons, and connector neurons or interneurons. Yeah, that means you were right. Okay, so let's go to this. Yeah, there's it. Good nerves, that's the biggest one, are made up of a bundle of axons or dendrites. Axons and dendrites are called nerve fibers, right? Oh my god. I think that's right. Nerve fiber. Okay, I'll read the entire thing now, right? Yeah, anyway. So nerves are made up of a bundle of axons and dendrites. So if you don't know what an axon is or dendrite is, this, look here. So this is the structure of a sensory neuron or a motor neuron. Sorry. Where is it? A sensory neuron. Oh, there is it. I see a sensory neuron with this bulb right here. Then there's a motor neuron here. Okay. So there's it. If you wonder what's an axon, so this is an axon. A dendrite is these things. Right. This is what connects cells to each other, right? Neurons are connected to each other by that. There's a synapse gaps between them, but dendrite connects neurons like that. So good nerves are made up of axons, and that was the reason why they say this. I could defend my stuff and say I'm right. You feel what I'm saying? I'm right. The reason why I say this is because the axons and dendrite are part of neurons. It's just a structural part of a neuron, right? That means it is nerves and then it is neurons. You know what I'm saying? Right? The reason why they just specify, they're just saying axons and dendrites instead of saying sensory neuron or motor neuron. It is because the cell bodies of these neurons are usually just far away apart from whatever organ we're talking about. For example, I obviously have sensory neurons around my skin, right, which are my touch nerves, my heat nerves, or whatever, right? What happens is that you would find that all of these have long axons, right, that go and go to the spine, where we will find their cell body. If the cell body is this thing, the cell body of a motor neuron is this. I don't know if you can see. A cell body of what do you call this? A sensory neuron is the bulge here. So usually this part, they're usually long, so nerve fibers are made of those parts more than they are made of those parts and cell bodies. That is why. So we can say when, that's where I got it wrong, because I said nerve as fibers right here, and that was wrong. Why? Because, or maybe we could say, maybe I was wrong. We could say there's nerve, right, which is optic nerve. What else? What other nerve do we have? What? I don't know any other one. I cannot think of any other one. But anyway, you have the optic nerve in the eye. Or you have the other one, which is called the vestibular cochlear nerve, sensory nerve, which is in the ear. Is the vestibular cochlear nerve, right? Yeah, I think so. That's the other one. Anyway, so you have that nerve. That nerve is made of a bundle of axons, which are neurons. All those neurons, that the bundle of them is called fibers, nerve fibers. So that's it. So you can say nerve, then you can say nerve fibers, and then when you go deeper, when you look at one, you can then get neurons. Okay, but I don't know if I should do this and say I'm wrong, but yeah, a bundle of neurons together are called nerve fibers. Obviously, we have three different kinds of nerves. There's sensory nerves, there's motor nerve, there's mixed nerve. What this just says is just that a single nerve just has one concentration of neurons. For example, optical nerve, it just only has a bundle of sensory neurons. That means it's a sensory nerve. When it has motor, which I don't know, I cannot think of anyone. It only have motor neurons. In this instance, it has like motor axons. So yeah, that is that. So what was the important part to understand was the nerve part distinction between nerve fibers. Okay. So we've done the structure of nerves. We've done the structure of nerve. I hope you guys can see it. Because if you cannot, it's gonna be. Let's go to the. Okay, let me not go based on what I know. Let me just challenge myself. Okay, let's go to the reflex arc. Okay, what is the reflex arc? So now that's difficult because I usually would not. I would skip this, do all that I know, and then go to it. Let me try it out. So a reflex arc is something that allows. It's the path, right? An impulse travels to provide an immediate and autonomous response to a stimulus. Is that right? So that's the definition I'm saying. So let's read the definition. So a path in which impulses go to bring about a path. I have to bring about impulses. I have to. Okay, let's see. Which one? Okay, which one? What is a reflex arc? Oh my god. Okay, look here. So I'm here right now. Okay. So they say here. Okay, like I said, the neuron is the structural unit of the nervous system. Is okay. The functional unit of the nervous system is a reflex arc. What is that? The reflex arc is the path that an impulse travels. Okay, chill, just go on. So I put out the reflex arc is the path that an impulse travels along to bring about a response to a stimulus during a reflex action. Okay, I said the entire thing, but okay, you guys heard that, right? Reflex arc is the path that an impulse travels along to bring about a response to a stimulus during a reflex action. Right, we're obviously gonna have to say what's a reflex action.